Welcome to the Permanent Lifestyle Podcast, your home for positive, informative, and life-changing conversations and content. And as always, our podcast is hosted by William Schultz. We hope you enjoy today's episode. All right. Hi, everybody. How are all my positive people out there doing? I want to welcome you back to the Permanent Lifestyle Podcast. I am your host, William Schultz, and we have a really interesting show today. I know it's interesting because I was telling people leading up to today, I'm going to be doing a podcast on this particular subject, and most people hadn't heard about what we were talking about today. But once I explained to them what it is, they were really fascinated and said, hey, when that's up, I'm going to be interested in listening into this. So today we are going to be talking about what blockchain technology is. What is blockchain technology? And I have with me today a gentleman by the name of Linnwood Mann. Linnwood Mann has a company called the Omminni Group Research and Development. And what they do is they specialize in the development of blockchain technology. And he's going to talk to us a little bit today about what exactly is blockchain, how is it used, is it different from Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and because we hear a lot of these words, but we don't really know what they mean. And then we're going to hear a little bit more about his business. So I would like to introduce you guys to Linnwood Mann. Linnwood, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing fabulous today. Life is amazing. It's all about just, keeping your head into a positive mindset here in 2020. There are so many other things that, that want to bring us down, whether it's media or what's happening, out there in the real world, but the real cause and effect is inside each one of us. It's keeping ourselves, in a growth mindset and staying positive, so that we can accomplish our own goals and help others accomplish theirs along the way as well.
Absolutely. So I just want to tell everybody, so Linnwood and I met on this amazing platform that too many people in the world right now aren't on. It's called LinkedIn. And I think I was up at one morning at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I was just kind of doing my thing, and we kind of started chatting, and we started chatting in a messenger, and he's kind of telling me about what he does, and I was thinking, man, this is really cool, because a lot of people don't know what blockchain is and what the technology is. And I've seen it and I've read a little bit about it, but I didn't really know. So we hopped on a Zoom call and we kind of talked for a little bit and kind of got a feel for each other. And, we decided, hey man, let's do a podcast, let's do a podcast episode on this subject, because I think it's really important for what Linnwood wants to do and what he wants to bring to our society. I think it's important that we start to kind of educate people on the kind of the simpler aspects of blockchain, because blockchain right now is kind of like how AOL was when it first started. Like, you kind of hear about it, you kind of read about it. There's a handful of people in the world that know what it is and have access to it. But in the next probably 10, 15, maybe even as soon as 5 years, it's going to be a household technology that we're all using. So I'm really excited to have Linnwood, and that's kind of how we met and how we know each other. So let's get started. Let's kind of jump on in, man. And Linnwood, let's kind of tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got into this. So, so Linnwood, when did you realize that you had a love for like computer technology?
It's going to be amazing to some people when I explain this, but in the 8th grade in 1982, I'm going to age myself here a little bit. In 1982, in the 8th grade, the U.S. government actually had put out these TRS-80s. And the TRS-80 computer was an all-in-one, had floppy disk on one side, had a keyboard that was attached to it. But imagine, it was bigger than a normal size TV nowadays. It was like a 35-inch unit that came to our school, and we received 2 of them. There were some other middle schools as well that received 2 of them that year in 1982. And my 8th grade teacher, Gordon Canning, held up a 3-inch 3-ring binder and said that anyone that wants to stay in from recess for the rest of the year and learn what this is can. And no 8th grade kid in 1982 wanted to stay in from recess.
Yeah.
except me, right? So, it was something new. It was innovative. It was something that I didn't know up to that point. I had never seen before, and I was curious. So I volunteered and I stayed in, and for the rest of the 8th grade year, I learned that three-ring binder, and I taught myself at 12 years old basic computer language.
So
that
what
I could,
back then, Linwood,
yeah.
what would basic computer language be in 1982? Like what does that mean?
Basic computer language was basically identifying the pixels on a screen so that you could then place a dot there. And then you'd have to continue a dot to make a line. So maybe 25 lines of code would create, just a straight line on a computer that was 2 or 3 inches long.
Okay.
So that to create the buttons or a shape like a triangle, it would be a couple hundred lines of code.
Wow. Okay. So it was almost like animation, almost, so to some degree, or?
Well, no, just any basic any basic single pixel language that you could think of. So what I did, for the very first program that I wrote was about 1,200 lines of code in BASIC, and there was a triangle that would come up and then disappear, a rectangle, disappear, circle, disappear, square, disappear, and then a simple addition and subtraction question would come up, like 45 plus 6.
Yeah.
And then you would type in that answer, 51, and it would tell you correct or incorrect.
Sure. And so then you were doing that based off of just kind of being self-taught, or was the teacher hanging in the class with you then? That was just self-taught, huh? So you've always had a love for computer technology at a very young age.
That's it. Just because of my curious nature, in the thought process that I was in, is that no one else knew it. The teacher didn't even know it. So I wanted to know it.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to know what other people weren't, didn't know or weren't curious about, trying to be unique, in the situation and go, okay, I'll learn that.
Absolutely.
And it plays right into blockchain technology today.
Absolutely. So, you are 1982. Obviously, we don't have blockchain technology at that point. Let's fast forward a little bit here. So now we know where your love was sparked here way back in the day. And let's move forward, because our subject today, we want to talk about blockchain, right? So what was your first introduction in blockchain? How did you hear about this? What was your first introduction?
Okay. Very first introduction to blockchain ever was a lot of people's first introduction, and it was almost subliminal. On college game day, there was a kid, and I forget which university, right? He held up a sign, and it was a Bitcoin QR code, and all it said behind the game day host was "send Bitcoin," and there was a QR code, and the kid received $22,000 worth of Bitcoin because people sent him $1 worth, $2 worth, $3 worth, and the kid, 22, and I was like, what?
How long ago was that? Do you remember how long ago that was?
My God, that had to be 2012, maybe 2011.
Okay.
It was a long time ago, almost 10 years ago now. But yeah, that was my first introduction. So, but from a I'm going to get into this introduction was 2017. I had worked in 2016 with a gentleman doing a landscaping job, and in 2017, the next year, he reached out to me and said, hey, look, this Bitcoin thing is really jumping off. You really need to get into it. And I was like, Bitcoin? Okay, I remember Bitcoin from back in the day.
Yeah, yep, okay.
So I looked into it, and I saw that Bitcoin was built on blockchain technology.
Okay.
And I said, okay, well, I need to know what blockchain technology is, and I need to know the 5th grader version of what blockchain technology is, because anyone anyone in any new circumstance is either going to give you a high level definition of it, or they're going to give you a layman's definition of it. And nobody needs the high level definition of it, because unless your fingers are on the keyboard, you don't need to know what that definition is. You know,
that's what we're here today to help people with the 5th grade definition, right?
Right.
Okay.
Maybe even 3rd definition.
Yeah. That might even be better. I know for me, that's what I'm going to need. So, so basically, kind of the 1982 Linnwood, that curiosity, that same curiosity that kid had when he was, allowed to stay in from recess, that same curiosity kind of struck, and those same skill sets kind of went into place. So I'm going to guess you started researching what the heck blockchain is, and what did you find out?
Oh yeah, and what I found out was real simple, and it is third grade. The easiest way to, I believe, to get people comfortable with crypto, and I believe that's the saying that we need to use going forward. Instead of educating people, because a lot of people, when you say educate, you're like, oh, I don't want to learn something new. Some people step back, some people step forward, take that step forward. But if we can get people comfortable with crypto, is that where we need to go? And we're already heading in that direction. But the 3rd grade explanation of it is this: we know what the ABC building blocks are, and we know that if we face the block A forward, and then the block B forward, and then put the block C on top of the A and the B blocks, we see the A, B, and C, right? But we also know that each block has the A and the B on it. And that's basically, in a nutshell, what blockchain is that each block has a record of the previous block on it. So as you're building your blocks, the A only has the A, but the B block has A and B. And then the C block has A, B, and C. So each block that comes next has a record of the previous block.
So that, to me, that kind of still went over my head, right? Like that sounds complicated. I remember you had spoke about a key. So are these blocks kind of like a key, which would be kind of like your address or kind of like your home? Is that what a block is, so to speak?
No, the keys, the addresses that you are given, and the information that are confirmed in each block, you are given a public and a private key for. And that public key allows you and other people as well to see your information on those blocks.
Okay, gotcha.
And your private key allows you to open your address, so no one else can open your address or get into your information. They can publicly see what the transaction is. They can publicly see the information in each block, but they can't go in and change it in any way. And that go ahead.
I was going to say, so blockchain, for the people out here listening, blockchain is not the same as Bitcoin or crypto. Blockchain is the technology that's used to distribute Bitcoin. Would that be an accurate description?
Right. Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies are built on the blockchain technology, are built into the blockchain technology.
And when people say cryptocurrency, what exactly does that mean?
It means that it is currency, or what they say is currency, built with cryptography. But the cryptography is basically an algorithm that they use within the programming in the code to produce the blocks that are built into the blockchain. I know it gets more confusing the more questions that you ask.
Right. No, I got you. So basically, crypto is kind of would it be safe to say, the most private form of currency there is in the world, meaning that if you have crypto, it's completely private, correct?
Not all of it is completely private. They call it, there's decentralized platforms and centralized platforms. Decentralized platforms are more private and secure than centralized platforms, because you're able to control the information. You're able to control your own information more. There isn't a centralized base that's controlling your information. But the bank, a brick and mortar bank, is a centralized bank.
Sure.
Imagine if all that information in a bank, right, that each individual held their own information, that it wasn't centralized at the bank. It would then be decentralized. The information would be decentralized at that point.
Okay.
And that's what cryptocurrency is doing.
And so, how does a cryptocurrency, well, let me ask you this. So there's a difference between Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, correct?
Yeah, there's a difference between each cryptocurrency.
So Bitcoin is just the name of a currency. Like there's a US dollar, Bitcoin there, and there's other different types of currencies, correct?
Yeah, there's actually other different types of Bitcoin. There are multiple coins that are built on the Bitcoin ledger, the Bitcoin network.
Okay.
There's Bitcoin Gold, there's Bitcoin Cash, there's Bitcoin SB. I think Bitcoin Black still exists as well. Yes, there's multiple coins on that network. And like on the Ethereum network, I believe there's over 3,000 different currencies.
Okay. So Ethereum, I've heard that name recently on a podcast I was listening to. So what exactly is Ethereum? That's just another platform?
Yeah, that's another network that has been built out. And Ethereum was built they called it at the time a lightning network. And basically it was supposed to create a neural network of currencies around the planet, and be able to expand a platform. And what has happened is that they've created more stores of value, so it works more like a stock than it does a currency. That's why that last great bridge for cryptocurrency is the merchant to consumer acceptance, is actually going into the real world and be able to buy eggs and milk at the corner store.
Yep.
The shirts that we're wearing, take your partner out for dinner, with the
Right.
cryptocurrency. And
So
that's where we're aiming to go.
So basically, a cryptocurrency would basically be a way for us to transfer money to each other, or to buy services and goods, and remove ourselves from the banks, correct? And we remove that tracking, their ability to track us, and ability to kind of control how we move our money, and how they can sometimes scrutinize us for how we use our money. Is that a fair enough statement?
Yeah, that is a fair enough statement. But we also have to be wary of the laws that we have allowed our representatives to set in place for us. Because
How so?
Because there are laws out there that prevent us from hiding what we're doing with our money.
Okay.
If we're doing everything legal with our money, if all we're doing is buying milk and eggs and going to the movie theater and paying for our dry cleaning, we're fine. But if we're using it for nefarious activity, right? Well, we've already elected representatives to establish regulations over our financial center, our FinCEN, and our SEC, the Security and Exchange Commissions, to say, no, U.S. currency cannot be used for that way. Even if you use U.S. currency to buy cryptocurrency and then use the cryptocurrency for nefarious activities,
Right.
you're still breaking the law.
Like I know there's been a lot of talk about cartels and high level drug dealers and smugglers using Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as a way to exchange dollars for illegal, like you said, nefarious activities. But that's not really that's not the way we want to use it. So, let's talk about, we as we started the show, we kind of talked about this technology is going to be entering our lives. Maybe could you give us a couple examples of where we might see blockchain technology in our lives into the future?
Sure, absolutely. I believe the most secure, I believe that the most secure platform in the best use case going forward will be medical data, because there's already HIPAA compliance where the transfer of data needs to be secure. Like you can't send across Wi-Fi your medical records. They still have to be faxed,
Okay.
or they have to be shelled. They have to be a hard copy brought from one doctor to another.
Okay.
Right. And one thing that can be done with blockchain technology is that we can create an app, which we're doing, so that the app is secure through two-factor authorization, through an algorithm that hasn't been broken, so that your doctor could scan just by a QR code your medical data onto your phone, and then you could take that phone to a specialist, and that specialist could scan it off your phone so that you have control of your data. So it's not centralized to from one doctor to another, but that through blockchain technology that you have control over your medical data. And that's where we're all going forward, especially with like a lot of stuff that's in the news now, is that people want control over their own lives. And the best way to get control over your own lives is to get control over your information and your money.
Well, another thing that I can, as you're talking about it, I could see where there could be benefits, where you have a lot of stories coming out where you have Chinese hackers stealing American technology and taking that back to China. And because they're such a great manufacturing country, they're able to manufacture the technology that they stole from American businesses. So to me, that sounds like you'd be able to keep some of your secrets and transfer your secrets within your organization through a blockchain technology. Would that be a fair use, or is that?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Especially like one thing that you don't want to do though is NORAD. Actually had it a few years ago.
And what is NORAD? Just for our listeners out there.
It's the
what if not the exact name? What is their role? I know it's a security thing.
Yeah, NORAD is basically a part of our military that oversees radar and defense systems for separate parts of the United States, right?
Okay.
And there was a story that came out of Colorado a few years ago where a laptop was taken out of a secure facility and somebody was working on it at home. And then either their car got broken into or their house got broken into and the laptop went missing, right? Well, that's one thing that we can't do, right, is that have that remote sort of work going on inside of a blockchain technology, because you're going to have any work that's going to be done on the blockchain has to be in that separate blockchain itself. You're not going to be able to go outside.
Okay, so you're not able to
and work outside.
Okay, so the blockchain has to be accessed from a key. Is that like what I understand?
Right,
Okay.
exactly. And from a security standpoint, I'm not a security expert, but from a security standpoint, I would say that yes, there's no remote access outside of your blockchain. If you're looking for absolute security, then it would be a ciphered algorithm, which would be greater than 32 digits and no access outside of your blockchain. Not, take work home and work on it is a no-go. Has always been a no-go, but of course some people think that their security measures are better than China. Still.
Right. No, for sure. So any other ways, medical records? I know, there's obviously some kind of financial. How would we use this financially? How would we use this, money wise, this blockchain?
Right.
Technology?
Well, I mean, one thing that we're working on, is definitely is a payment gateway for the future. We have secured the trademark for the currency of tomorrow. Because definitely we're looking at bridging that merchant to consumer acceptance. And what that is going to do is, we've been slowly moving towards the digital age of money. You can go into Starbucks, you can go into Walmart, you can go into Dunkin' Donuts and pay with a QR code. They can scan a QR code on your phone and you can pay. You can pay with near field technology. Just get your phone near an Apple Pay or Samsung Pay, and you can pay with your phone. You already have that sort of electronic or virtual payments.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be easy to bridge that gap and get those people that are already using that sort of technology in, but it's getting other people used to an electronic, digital, or virtual payment for their goods and services. Because the worst thing about money right now is the germs, bacteria, and viruses that paper and coins transmit.
Sure.
And I can tell you right now, only one person normally touches this. No one else touches your money if you're paying with a phone. Right. Maybe your wife, but not the 6 people that have touched the dollar bill already today. Definitely not.
What about, how, let's say, how will somebody without the bank be able to get a loan, prove how much money they've made and things of that nature if it's not being run through a bank?
There are already platforms out there, and I'm in communication with them all the time, right? That are already establishing themselves with loan blockchain technology, with real estate blockchain technology. There's actually a player out there that is creating a credit report system on blockchain technology. So
wow.
Experian, TransUnion, all of Equifax, all of those, right, will also have a 4th credit reporting agency on blockchain. So any of your cryptocurrency transactions will be reported as a credit report from your cryptocurrency account. All you need to do is register once with them and you'll be covered across the board on all 4 credit reporting agencies.
How can somebody know that their cryptocurrency is safe? How do you know? Obviously, like with a bank, it's FDIC insured for up to $250,000 on an average bank account. So how is cryptocurrency safe? If I have $50,000 of cryptocurrency, how do I know that's going to be safe?
Because one, cryptocurrency security standards state that you and only you should have your private keys. If anyone else has generated your private keys for you, right, then they have access to your private keys.
Okay.
So
how does somebody generate their own keys?
Right. Don't go on to an exchange where the exchange will hold your keys, or a wallet, a company that purports to have a crypto wallet, right, that doesn't give you access to your keys, right?
Excuse me. Yeah.
Right. The best way to go about that is that if you have a public key, which would be accessible to anyone on the blockchain, your public key, right, is to actually have a generator so that your public key generates your private key. So only you can generate that private key. Okay.
So your key, you've talked about this before. What exactly is a key? Is it like a USB drive? Like, what is a key?
No, a key is a 32-digit is a 32-digit code that is generated by they have key generators, they have Bitcoin address generators and apps. So it's generated. It's generated by an algorithm. Like if you go, I should have had it brought up for you, but there's actually an SHA-256, which is secure hashing algorithm version 256 that was created by the NSA.
Okay.
That hasn't been broken yet. And you can go in, and in that SHA-256, you can put in any input that you want, and it'll generate for you a 32-digit code. You can put in William, and you can put in Vivid, and it will generate a 32-digit code. Any
now, is this code
that you put in there.
Is this code something you have to memorize then and write down somewhere? So then when you log on, or
yeah, a couple of different ways. if you can memorize 32 digits,
Right.
then go ahead. But no, I would write it down and keep it in a couple of different spots. I definitely wouldn't keep it in an insecure spot, like unsecured on your computer, on your phone,
Sure.
that you don't have at least two-factor authorization on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would write it down and I would put it in a safe. I have my keys written down. I don't have my keys anywhere on any electronic device, because anytime, anywhere, if I go down for any reason, I don't want somebody locked out of my stuff. My lawyer has access. My lawyer has access to them, and she'll take care of that.
So let me ask you this then. How does the average person, this average business woman, average business guy sitting at home, they want to get in on this, they want to just at least have access to this technology. What do they do? I'm saying, hey, Linnwood, you're talking about this blockchain, you're talking about the Bitcoin. How do I get started?
I believe the easiest way to get started is very secure and well-established entities in the United States.
What are those?
And Gemini is Gemini Trust is a great company run by the Winklevoss twins out of New York City. They've already partnered with JP Morgan, as well as Coinbase. Coinbase is another well-established cryptocurrency platform. But I would highly recommend Gemini Trust.
And Gemini is a place where you can store your money. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. You can link a bank account. You can link multiple bank accounts, credit unions if you want. You can link, and then you can fund Gemini through those accounts. You can purchase cryptocurrency and just hold it if you want. Some people, they call them hodlers, which is HODL instead of HOLD. And HODL is hold on for dear life.
Are you holding on for dear life? What are you invested like that, or?
I am.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, I buy more and more. But yeah, I don't trade. I build.
Okay. Yeah, right. Correct. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So
right.
So you're saying if for the average person out there, if they want to start this journey and they're very curious, you would have them look up Gemini. Is that like Gemini.com?
No, it's Gemini. It's Gemini Trust.
Okay.
Let me.
That's very interesting, because I know I've recently listened to a podcast. Robert Kiyosaki had a gentleman who was talking about cryptocurrencies, and they were just talking about how it works and things of that nature. So they never talked about though how you can get involved in it. So you're hearing it here first, people, how you actually get involved in cryptocurrency and blockchain technology.
It actually is Gemini.com.
Gemini.com.
And they have a started button right up top.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
another easy one as well is Cash App.
Oh, really? Cash App is tied it's tied to crypto?
Cash App is tied to cryptocurrency. Okay. And your regulations, an easy way for most people to get in and get comfortable, right, is that you can buy up to $1,000 a day on Cash App straight through your bank.
Okay.
Like I can sit here and in less than time myself in less than a minute and a half, I can go from my bank account, buy $100 worth of Bitcoin on Cash App, receive it, cash it back out into $100 worth of USD, and then put that $100 worth of USD back into my bank account in less than a minute and a half.
Okay. That's very interesting.
Because that's what people want to see. A novice that wants to get comfortable with something wants to see the complete loop.
Right.
Out of my bank account, into Bitcoin, back into US cash, back into my bank account.
Yeah,
that
that makes sense.
that's comfortable.
That makes sense. No, for sure. I mean, I've done that with trading on Robinhood, and like, the first time I cashed out, I was like, man, this better work. And once it did, it definitely put me at ease. I was like, okay, I
Right.
have access. So, just to kind of recap before we talk a little bit more about your business, just kind of want to recap. So blockchain technology is a technology that houses that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin can run on, correct? That's what the blockchain
Correct.
technology, and it's basically kind of just like an encrypted, safe, private technology, right? That's kind of what we're dealing with here.
Yes. All we're looking to do is get your information back into your hands, because Bitcoin and blockchain has been around a little bit longer than Bitcoin, but Bitcoin was created after the 2008 collapse
Crisis,
of our
right? Yeah,
right
yeah.
financial crisis, because they realized that centralizing our information and allowing other people to control our information and our money was a recipe for disaster, has always been a recipe for disaster. The
Yeah.
more that we spread it out and put your information in your hands, it's then your responsibility. It's no one else's responsibility but your own to control your money.
Sure. And what we're saying here also is that what we can see for the future of blockchain technology is an ability to transfer medical records safely, transfer and spend money more safely with with less fees. And I know you're going to talk about that when we get into your business,
Right.
when we talk about your business. And then also that, it's private, right? So we're able to kind of eliminate a lot of middlemen and middle women or middle people or middle things in our transactions.
Right.
And a lot of prying eyes. Like, think about like what you said right now, just a minute ago, is like privacy. Like right now, people our privacy, our information is being bought and sold like it's the freaking stock market right now, and we don't get to benefit from that at all. I always thought that, hey, Facebook, if you want to sell my information, right, then maybe there should be a way that I get a piece of that. But why would we? We are voluntarily logging on to Facebook. We're voluntarily using Google email addresses. We're voluntarily using this stuff. They should be maybe paying us for this. So this is a way we can kind of take control back from that situation.
Right, correct. Because for a long time, and I don't know when the law started, but I know that it's been around for a long time. I'm thinking probably when the .com era came in, is that if you voluntarily give your information out to a third party, right, that third party can do anything they want with that information.
Yep.
Unless you have signed a contract with them not to use or disseminate your information in any way, then they can use it for whatever they want. Because going forward, cash is not king.
No,
information is king.
Information. I would say there's two things. I would agree with you: information and attention. Attention and information, because right now, in terms of the media world and marketing, that's kind of my background. Attention. Right. Everybody's vying for your attention right now. So, well, all right. Well, let's talk about your business, man. Let's talk about your business. So your business is called Omminni Group Research and Development. Tell me a little bit about your company. What is it all about? What do you guys do?
Well, my true passion in life has been for solutions, has always been for solutions. What's the solution to my math problem in 8th grade? How do I help people worldwide come out of, this financial crisis that we're currently in, that looks like that it's outside of all our controls, right?
Yeah.
How do we do that? And it was a solution that was bred from 2017 when I got into cryptocurrency and started looking at cryptocurrency. I said, look, if they're going to say that it's currency, I want it to act like currency, because all the other cryptos out there act like a store of value, just like a stock. They're on an exchange. They go up and down in volume.
Sure.
They're volatile, So I said, look, I'm going to look into building a cryptocurrency. And, that's what I've done. It's over the last 3 years, I've taken the steps, to build a cryptocurrency for the world, because I truly believe that not only is there going to be multiple currencies out there, some people are scared by a one world currency. I don't believe that that's going to happen anytime soon. I don't think it's going to happen in our lifetime.
No,
You
that
know,
would remove too much power and influence for, yeah, there's too
right,
much greed for that.
right. Yeah, there's too many egos in too many different countries
Correct, correct.
to
Yeah,
allow that
yeah,
happen.
yeah.
But yes, but from a cryptocurrency standpoint, we really looked at it, from OGRD's perspective. And
What is that? OG? Oh, that's the acronym for
Omni
your
Group,
business.
right? The
Okay.
acronym for Omminni Group Research and Development. Yeah, we really looked at it from an OGRD perspective, and we said, look, the easiest way to go about it is that we as a people, as a human race, should be living in abundance and prosperity. And to do that, we shouldn't have to pay taxes and fees on every single transaction that has happened back for thousands of years. The
Right.
only way that you can transact a transfer of value and not have a tax or a fee is barter. If you
You're
go
right.
into
No,
the
you're
real
right.
world, there's a tax or a fee. Well, how do we get over that? Well, we create a currency that doesn't that recognizes Caesar, right? Pay unto Caesar what's Caesar's. You're gonna pay the man his tax,
Yeah.
right? So what we do is we created a side chain. We created a cryptocurrency that is a stable coin that you buy just like a gift card. You go into any participating merchant that we have and you buy it just like a gift card. But when you transact with that merchant, it actually creates another cryptocurrency. And that cryptocurrency you can then use as a store of value, just like all the other cryptocurrencies out there. It'll be on an exchange. You'll be able to buy and sell it. It'll have volatility, so it'll move up and down like a stock, so that people can not only get comfortable with crypto, but they can get comfortable buying and selling stocks, and it will be of no cost to them because they're bought their goods and services dollar for dollar, and then been rewarded with a cryptocurrency that they can then use as a stock.
So you're saying that this is going to eliminate your need to have to pay fees on everything that you do in life, basically.
Well, it won't eliminate the fees. You'll still pay the fees, but you'll be rewarded for using the currency of tomorrow.
Okay.
And that currency of tomorrow is what brings your abundance and prosperity.
Okay. And that reward is, I mean, I know you just kind of went through a
Yep.
whole thing, but in the simplest terms, what exactly is that reward?
That reward is a side chain created cryptocurrency that will pay you 6% of the purchase that you just made as the sender of the money, sending it to the merchant. Your sending wallet will receive 6% of that transaction in a newly mined cryptocurrency. So you'll not only get dollar for dollar for your goods and services, but you'll get a 6% reward in a cryptocurrency that you can then make a profit off of as well.
Okay. All right. Now that makes sense. All right, everybody out there, tell me you wouldn't like to have a currency that's paying you to use it, right?
Exactly.
I'm, that sounds like something pretty interesting. So I'm sure a lot of people would be interested when that comes down. And I know we were talking before when we had talked on a Zoom call. You were talking about how businesses can use this to transact with each other. Maybe explain that a little bit.
Right, exactly. It works in the exact same way, is that the sender of the wallet, whether it's a business to business, say, if William, you own a deli on the side of the corner, right? And you need to, and you want to transact with your suppliers, right? And your suppliers have used the 2020 coin as well. Well, you would then send 2020 coin to you'd buy 2020 coin just like in a closed loop gift card system from your supplier. And then when you got new supplies, you would send them and pay for those supplies. And in sending them, you would then be the sending wallet, and you would produce 6% of that transaction in the newly mined coin.
Okay.
And the more businesses that interact that way, right, the more profitable it's going
Right.
to be
Then the
for the whole
value is
network.
going up. And then
Right.
basically, so now I'm getting more of what I'm seeing now, it's almost like everybody's sharing in the wealth. It's like a community currency where if we're all using it, we're all benefiting from it. So there's incentive to keep using this
Right.
currency and taking care of one another through, you know, so it's a very interesting concept.
It's not only a community, but it's a global entity.
Sure.
And the global part of that is that it's not only bringing us all together, but each merchant, each business that transacts in the coin is going to have a Raspberry Pi. You know how businesses have points of sale, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Right. Well, the Raspberry Pi is going to have an 8-core processor in it, and it only needs one processor to complete the transactions. The other 7 processors are going to create a neural network, and that additional processing power is then going to bring profit to the planet as well, because we're going to be able to use that processing power to lease it out or to charitably give it out to entities that are folding proteins against cures for diseases.
Sure.
No,
that
so
makes
that
sense.
we're providing a greater good for the planet in that way as well.
To utilize blockchain, you do need access to the internet, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. See, what I'm thinking, what I'm hearing here too,
right.
though, what I see too is an opportunity for third world countries that do have cellular or have some kind of access to internet. That guy who doesn't have a centralized bank in his country or in his town or his village, he could create a business. You know, he could create a business selling used tires in Honduras that he doesn't need to have a central bank fund him or have it keep his money in. And he can sell that to the other people in his community as long as they had some kind of access to Wi-Fi or some kind of cellular data, which most people in the world do. Not all, but a majority do.
Right. I know that the numbers are still true to this, is that there are more people on the planet with cell phones than shoes.
Right.
There are more people on the planet with cell phones than toilets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so if
ridiculous.
You have a phone, if you have a phone and you have all of your information and you have complete control of your money, right? We're moving you into the future. We're putting shoes on your feet. We're putting toilets in your house, right? We're moving you into the future. There was a story a couple years ago about a young man that lived in a village in Uganda and walked 40 miles into town just so that he could use his cell phone.
Wow.
And he did that a couple of times a week because Africa is 85% wired to the hand, 12% wired to the tower.
Gotcha. Yep.
You know, and that needs to change as well.
I know China's investing a lot of
right.
money in Africa right now to try to change that. Unfortunately,
right.
they're low key. They're loaning them a bunch of money that they're never going to pay back, and they're essentially going to own that country. Unfortunately, that continent, I should say, depending on how far they get.
But that's right. But that's going to change as well, because there are ways around Chinese debt that haven't been utilized yet from a government standpoint.
Okay. Well, we're getting close to the end here, so I want to just ask maybe one or two more questions here.
Sure.
So, is your business, for the listeners out there, people who might be interested and they want to get in on this, is your business currently looking for investors or open to investors? If somebody wanted to get in on this while it's still in the early stages?
Oh yeah, yes, we're definitely looking at investor simulation as well as merchant of simulation going forward. We have an MVP, a minimum viable product, that will be coming out this summer. We've also lined up interviews with Fox Business as well as with blockchain innovators out of the NASDAQ marketplace in New York City. And that'll be coming later on this summer as well. but yes, from an investor standpoint, if anyone is out there and looking to invest in the new technology and are looking to get more comfortable with crypto, I would definitely ask them to reach out to 2020 coin at the currency of tomorrow. That's 2020 COIN at thecurrencyoftomorrow.com.
And is that also a website people can go to right now?
The website is just a placeholder. We have the website currently under development. If you go to www.thecurrencyoftomorrow.com, you'll see a small, just a GoDaddy splash page there.
Sure.
So
okay.
that's currently under development as well. But yes, by the end of the summer, we're lining everything up so that our marketing, our advertising, our minimum viable product, as well as the complete rest of the platform, will be definitely ready to go by the end of the summer.
Awesome. And
so yes, early stage investors are absolutely early stage investors right now.
All right. And so people can contact you at 2020 coins at currencyofthefuture.com?
No, 2020 COIN at thecurrencyoftomorrow.com.
Okay. And then also I know that people out there, if you also are interested in contacting Linnwood, you can find him on LinkedIn. He's an active LinkedIn user. So that's Linnwood, Linnwood, Mann, MANN. He's an active user on LinkedIn. And I would agree, that's probably both of our favorite platforms. Is that?
I'd love to hear from anybody that wants to reach out and connect on LinkedIn. I truly believe that all my connections are of high value on LinkedIn. And, I personally love to be charitable on the platform. I love to connect people on the platform as well. I've had some people call me an electrician, because even if you have no connection to crypto, and you need a graphic designer, or you need some other certification, you need a business coach, whatever it is, please, contact me, allow me to help you. I'm here to make your life easier.
Awesome. Well, Linnwood, I want to thank you again for being on the program today, man. It was an honor to have you. I definitely learned a lot more than I did from after our first conversation that we had, and then just having this now, like I kind of have a much better understanding. I know the more I talk with you, the more I just kind of get into this stuff, the more I'm going to learn, because I really honestly believe, as most people do, once you, like you said earlier, didn't you say JP Morgan is involved, or so once you see those kind of people getting involved in this stuff, this is legit. It's coming. It's going to happen. It's coming down our pipeline. So it's something that you want to get in on early, at least the understanding of it. Maybe you don't want to invest, but you at least want to understand. So thank you very much, Linnwood, for being on today. Everybody, thank you very much for joining us. I hope the rest of your day, the rest of your week, the rest of your month, the rest of your year is filled with positivity and productivity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.